esta queda vacía. Oye.
Ponte para allá.
Good morning. Thank you everybody for joining today. This is going to be a panel discussion focusing on SDGs and how blockchain can support in further promoting these sustainable development goals. So we have a panel of distinguished speakers here today, and it's a great pleasure to welcome Alex Casas. He's the head of blockchain in climate trade. We have Frank van der Weyer, who is the CEO of Amoria Coin. And we also have Xavier Aquilo-Aran, who is working with PCA Barcelona. We also have with us today Kathy Mulligan, who is joining virtually. Thank you, Kathy, for joining. Kathy is the director of the Central Lab of Instituto Superior Técnico in the University of Lisbon. I would like to give the floor to each of you to say a few words about yourself, and then about the work that you are doing within your organizations, and then we can follow up with the discussion. I'd like to start with Kathy, who will have very limited time to be here with us today because we started a little later. So, Kathy, the floor is yours. We can't hear you.
You're muted.
Sorry. It's really great and fantastic to be here, and thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it. So, you know, as Tonya mentioned, I am leading a center in Instituto Superior Técnico in Lisbon, and we are looking at blockchain for social good and sustainability. You know, my background is in interdisciplinary research between computer science and economics, and also sustainable development. So I truly believe that there's really a great opportunity for the use of blockchain, and in particular decentralized technologies, in order to help deliver on the sustainable development goals. And I'm really excited to be on the panel today with other great minds on this topic, and really looking forward to our discussion.
Thank you. Xavier, if you'd like to follow up.
Thank you very much for this invitation. I have to say that I'm doing two things. One thing is engineering, the other one is teaching. In terms of engineering, we understand that whenever we do buildings, whenever we do civil works, there is something called circularity that we need to apply. Circularity is based in trust, and is based as well in the tracking of everything what you have done in a very long period of time. And we consider that the blockchain is a very nice tool to trust and to rely on all these aspects for the circularity. As well, that's something that we try to teach in our part of the lessons that we provide the students with some knowledge about.
Thank you. Frank?
Yeah, we are not working. We are having a great time because we did buy this beautiful valley in the Catalan Pyrenees next to a beautiful lake where we want to build an eco-village that can be a blueprint for life in the 21st century. So high up in the mountains, far away from the city. I think more and more people in the future will go and live on the countryside. And there it happened that to get all the permits, we had to look for water on our land. And then we did find that we have 10 underground rivers with the most amazing water in the world. And to sponsor all that, to fund all that, we created our own cryptocurrency, the Amoria coin, based on blockchain. And it will be followed by our own blockchain trading platform to trade our water around the world. Thank you.
Great.
Hi, everyone, and thanks for the invitation, Tonya, co-panelists and the organization. My name is Alex Casas. I have been in the blockchain space in 2016, more or less, and always very tied to social impact projects and initiatives. So that's the main feature that captured me to get fully devoted to the blockchain space. Currently, I'm working as the head of blockchain at Climate Trade, and Climate Trade is the world-leading marketplace for acquiring and offsetting carbon credits. We were also the first project back in 2017 to tokenize carbon credits on the Ethereum network. And our marketplace now, today, is the world-leading marketplace because we have been able to digitize the full process of acquiring and offsetting and using blockchain to provide accountability, traceability, and transparency that a market such as the carbon markets deserve, and working on very exciting stuff that is soon to come.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you all for opening up the discussion. I think that as we have this beautiful app that has been used by the conference, we have received a few questions coming directly from the audience. I think that we already have a lot to discuss in terms of triggering a discussion on SDGs. So I'd like to start by asking you guys, do you think that blockchain is really a sustainable technology? How do you think it can actually be amplified in terms of supporting different sustainable development goals within the agenda as set out by the OECD?
I have personal a lot of experience with that because we started to sell our water to the world. And then we had all these problems with lawyers, contracts, banks, letter of credits, translators, and so on. So we said, maybe they should pay us with Bitcoin in a few seconds, no delays, no expenses. And from that came the idea to trade our water with our own cryptocurrency based on blockchain. And to help all that and not doing too much against nature, we created our own solar farm so that we don't have to misuse the planet. Warrior.
Okay, Kathy, what's your take? Again, you're muted.
Apologies. So yeah, for me, one of the most exciting things about blockchain is actually that it is, Bitcoin, and I've been working with Bitcoin since about 2009. Actually, I was very early to this research. But the thing about it for me is that it's an extremely interesting thought experiment because Bitcoin actually asks us to rethink what money actually is in our world. I think most of the world's problems that we have with regards to sustainability have actually developed from our conceptualization of money, of conceptualization of value, and Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain allow us to completely redefine what money actually is. I view cryptocurrencies as the first time in 5,000 years we've actually innovated in what money actually is. And so, yes, there's a lot of other issues. We also need to think about Bitcoin and blockchain, which is, the environmental consumption of the technologies themselves. But I think that we can work out ultimately how to balance those.
Thank you. And
yeah, I think exactly the same. So in terms of considering that these are tools that will help us to be much more sustainable because we will rely on things 20 or 50 years later, that helps a lot in keeping the sustainability of all products and reusing them and trusting them. Of course, there is a controversy here because it's known that nowadays blockchain consumes lots of energy because of all these computational aspects, but that's a matter of technology that will solve soon. The same happens with transportation. Transportation has a huge impact on the environment, but again, it's a matter of technology. I guess that all ships in the world will change their fuel engines for electric ones at some point. They will be working with electric, but at the same time, hydrogen. So blockchain should be set up in a similar way. Even though there is a lot of computation and a lot of energy consumption, what we can try to do is to supply all this energy by renewable energies, which makes a lot of sense and can, let's say, afford all the sustainability go on. Right?
Thank you. Alex?
Yeah, well, first, I think that to talk about the sustainability of blockchain, we have to put it in a relative context. Compared to what? First, I don't want to enter into the topic and the very topic comparison between the energy and contamination used by the financial system, gold, and so on. I'm not going to enter into that. But first, blockchain has put a lot of financial incentives to work on energy efficiency, which I think is very good and is being applied to other industries. And second, and this is something that sometimes really annoys me, is this. For example, Bitcoin consumes a lot of electricity. No, humans consume a lot of electricity for using Bitcoin because they have financial incentives. So where is the problem? in Bitcoin or in humans and their incentives? And mostly, where lies the solution? In blockchain or humans and applying the correct incentives to achieve our objectives as humanity?
Exactly. Exactly. This is so right.
Thank you.
This is so right. Okay. So having discussed the benefits of using blockchain and the different aspects that it can actually be utilized, do you also see any pitfalls in the actual amplification of blockchain for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, the Sustainable Development Agenda? Are there any issues that you see in terms of the technical implications and any other aspects, any blockages, let's say? Maybe start with Kathy.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting point, right? So what are the blockages? I think we have some, we've seen some earlier presentations this morning around education, and I think education is extremely important, trying to help people understand how to use and actually apply these properly. But also, if you're offering incentives to people, the UX interface for blockchain at the moment, or any of the cryptocurrencies, is actually mind-blowingly bad. So, for example, I had to buy my first cryptocurrencies ever in my entire life a couple of months ago. And literally, even after nearly 12 years working with this technology, I was astonished by how bad the interface is. So I think one of the biggest blockers to uptake is interface, user experience. And again, it all comes back down to, what is the human experience of these technologies? Because yes, you can have great incentives on blockchain, fantastic, but if people aren't able to successfully use those, well, then you've got a negative incentive, and then you're just, burning burning a lot of energy, but not actually getting the output you want.
Thank you. Javier?
Well, in terms of construction, as you know, is a very traditional sector, so it's very difficult to introduce new aspects. But in that case, that circularity in construction, it's something that is very innovative and is not yet trendy, but will be something that needs to apply yes or yes. We will need to have all these tools on board. Learning how it works, learning the advantages, learning what come up from these technologies will be very important for the sector. And because the sector needs to change a lot, I'm sure that will help.
Let's go back for one moment to real life. We were informed that there are 1 billion people today on the planet, and they don't have access to clean drinking water. The United Nations says that in 2040, 25% of humanity won't have access to clean drinking water. They call it water stress. It must be a joke, because if you are one day without drinking water, that's a tragedy. So I see that our community, based on blockchain, can buy more water wells in the world and organize us in a way that nobody on this planet is without pure drinking water. Your body is 72% water. Is the most important thing in life after breathing. So we should use blockchain to organize ourselves, that everybody on this planet, that every child on this planet has the rights and the possibility to drink clean, pure, natural drinking water every day of the future. And that is why I think blockchain can help us to make a better world. Thank you.
Okay, regarding this question, I would like to move a bit the focus. There is a pitfall, and it comes from investors. I mean, I have been the past 4 or 5 years struggling and witnessing how difficult it is to attract fundraising, to attract funds to social impact projects, which are even good from a business point of view, and they have profitability, because it seems that there is like a lot of noise in the blockchain space regarding investment and so on. There are exceptions, of course. In the traditional investing world, there are sustainable funds which are now moving into blockchain. But at the end of the day, it is the same. I mean, projects with very good intentions are dying in the middle of the desert with very good ideas, very good teams, because they can't compete with projects, I'm not going to mention anyone, which have a value proposition that I'm not going to judge it again, and raise XX millions in XX seconds. So first, I think we should, all the people who are here in this part of the social impact on blockchain, we should be like really focused on the education. Yes, education to investors, to make them like feel that they will also earn money. And this is, and I'm finishing, this is something that is very like culturally trapped in our brains, because the origin of philanthropy came from a religious aspect. In the United States, when you were working a lot and you were earning a lot of money, it was like, oh, don't earn so much money. So the answer was, talking in very general terms, to start donating and supporting good causes. But what happens when that philanthropy and supporting good causes is made for the sake of making more money? We have I don't know the word in English now, but we have like something going bad in our brain. And that's true. We live in a world in which if you are earning a lot of money without earning money by helping people, you are some kind of evil, or oh, you are using the need of people to make money, while there are other projects who are making much more money and not helping anyone, but even prejudicing them, which are semi-gods in our society. And I think this is something to reflect about and to change this perception. You can do good and earn money. There's nothing bad about it. Yeah, but well, we see it clear, but go outside. Yeah. And this is something, because again, it's something that is part of our mindset as a society. Hopefully it's changing, but there is still a lot of work to do.
I agree with you. There is nothing wrong with getting rich, making the world a better place. Money is just an energy. It only matters what you do with your money. And if you do positive things with your money, and you know really what is important in life, it's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah.
We have it clear.
I think we should just redefine what money is. It's a human concept. We can redefine it with, anyway, sorry, that's another, maybe a question for
I think it's important that we discuss this, because I think it's something that it's interesting for all, because sometimes we demonize some things like entrepreneurship or making money, and we need to somehow see what's behind it and how it can be made sustainable and useful for all. So practically, I don't think that it's something that we should avoid discussing. It should be something that we should keep discussing in order to make sure that everybody's on the same page and understands that as long as there is a positive impact to the things that you're doing, it's okay to get rich. It's absolutely fine. Yeah. So yeah, by all means. Okay, I'd like to focus a little bit on climate change and ask you, based on the different time frames that we have been given by the various environmental organizations, we have been warned that in less than 11 years, we need to have implemented several actions that will help the global warming stay at a certain stage. Do you think that blockchain is a technology that can actually help into this direction, and how can this be done? Are there any ideas of how this technology can positively affect in terms of the challenges that we're currently facing? I'd like to start with that.
So nice, easy question there. So yes, I completely agree with you. We've got 11 years. And for me, one of the things that I'm super interested in about decentralization is the fact that it can create and implement resilience into a lot of our different supply chains, right? So we can think about that both from a financial perspective, but also from an organizational perspective. We can use these technologies to recreate more flexible supply chains and have local and global interconnected using digital technologies, and in particular, the decentralized technologies of blockchain and cryptocurrency give us the tools to do that. I think we also need to start moving, much more rapidly than we are in that direction. So I actually did a master's in engineering for sustainable development, and I did that quite a long time ago now. And, basically when we did that, they said, we're almost out of time. It's now 1.5 decades later, and we really are running out of time. So, I would completely agree with the other panelists. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're making money. Actually, it doesn't matter if you're not making money. We just need to get on with it. That's my exhortation to everybody.
Thank you.
It's funny, while you speak, you are fading on the image and you're saying all these problems with,
An aura
with
of-
environment. Yeah, so sorry to keep going with the construction, but of course, the impact that the construction is doing on the environment is so high. We have more or less 40% of the materials that is extracted on the planet goes to construction. The 40% of waste over the world is from construction, and the 40% of the emissions in the world are coming from construction, from buildings. So that's a huge impact. And the business that building or construction creates is just 10% of the overall GDP. So the impact that a field is having on the world is so massive, and the social impact is so low that we need to change this direction. So because this aspect of circularity relies a lot on trust, relies a lot on traceability and everything, but as well needs to manage lots of products that will be taken from existing buildings and reused to other buildings. There is a lot of logistics here, lots of supply chains that needs to be managed. And the thing is that blockchain will help us to manage all these supply chains all over the world, connected in the same, let's say, stock market of second-hand products. That's something that nowadays with the technology that we have is quite impossible. And because as well, all these products needs to be rely on something that happens 30 or 50 years before. This trust and this transparency, it's absolutely needed. So yes, we are trying to move from this impact of 40% in all these aspects to zero. That's a challenge that we need to do with tools like this, innovative tools, let's say. Well, probably they are quite old, but for the construction field, it's very innovative. And as well, all these aspects needs to run in a very huge transparency in all aspects of economics. So the business model in construction is changing. The funds, the investors now believe in green aspects. In the climate change is a problem for them. So as soon as the administrations, the governments change a little bit the policies, everything will be much more aligned. And I guess, or I hope that we will achieve it.
Thank you. I think you're next, because I think it's very connected to what you're doing. So
Yeah.
the water and the real estate business is very much.
Let make myself very clear. Blockchain is the basic structure of our whole community. We call it the golden triangle, because on our blockchain platform, people buy our Amoria crypto, our Amoria coin. And from there, we are building the eco resort with a solar farm, with smart eco houses, with permaculture, with a health center where traditional medicine and quantum medicine come together, but also with a Congress Center where we will invite interesting people from all over the world to talk about the new lifestyle of the 21st century and to talk about the new economy, the consciousness economy. So, and from there, also our bottling factory is sponsored, and our full community is the circle around all this golden triangle, and it's all based on this blockchain platform. So blockchain was fundamental for us from the very, very start. And I think it's the basic to create a new and better world. A friend of mine said to me, what you're doing is taking away the money from the government and the bank, and that's a little bit being Robin Hood, and giving back to the people. That's the ultimate revolution. Maybe it's true, I don't know, but it's a good idea anyway.
Thank you. And Alex, because I understand what your company is doing is very relevant to what we discussed.
Yeah, my take here, Tonya, it's like, first, if we look a little bit to the past, carbon credits were the first example of digital certificates. But in the implementation now, we have like a bunch of isolated registries which are not interconnected between them. So this has led to a situation that hopefully we are contributing and trying climate trade to change, that have been like markets that are pretty opaque, illiquid, prone to fraud with double counting and so on. So first, in this matter, the work is like to normalize this market. Like, let's provide transparency. Let's avoid people, the so-called carbon cowboys, which were like buying credits to indigenous populations for $1, $2 each and selling them for whatever. And let's start putting like the money flow in front of the people. When a company offsets their emissions, how much money goes for each party? That helps for a better price discovery, for example, because we are seeing like a range of prices. There is not like, if I would be the sustainability manager of a company, it would require for me a very high cognitive effort to select the kind of credits that I wanna purchase to offset my emissions. So first, definitely yes, blockchain is a critical and I think a crucial tool in the fight with climate change, because first, it's a highly complex process that involves multiple parties that doesn't trust each other. Sound familiar? Yes. So first, let's make the market, let's normalize it, let's use the tools that we have. Now, I think in climate trade, we have already achieved this in our scale. And the next point is to design incentives to strengthen the decarbonization process, because otherwise we have no room for error. I mean, this is not something that you can allow yourself to see like, oh, let's see, we go to 1.5 and 2 or 2. Let's capture carbon as if there is no tomorrow, because otherwise there is no tomorrow.
Yes, this is indeed the problem. The fact that we always think that we will do it tomorrow. So we had to excuse Kathy. It was unfortunate that we didn't have the chance to say goodbye. She had to attend another event. But I would like, as we have 3 minutes now, to give each of you a little time to make a final statement or conclusion in terms of what you see for the future. How do you perceive that we will achieve sustainability goals within the next few years? And if you have any policy suggestions that you think are very important, especially for Europe and also globally, to be implemented for enhancing this effort for actually achieving this sustainability agenda that has been set by the OECD. So I'd like to start with Frank.
Yeah, thank you. So we did a lot of work to get this project on track. It was a hard fight to get all the permits to build this eco-village high up in the mountains in the Paradise Valley. It can be a blueprint for life in the 21st century. More and more people are leaving the city, want to live in harmony with nature and have a healthy lifestyle together with investing in consciousness economy. So maybe I should ask you, what did you do till today to create a future, a better world? So maybe I should ask you, please go to our website, inform yourself about our projects, ask us all the questions you want to ask, and give you all the advices you want to give us. We need you. Together we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will be very fast. So I think that we need to learn a lot. blockchain is not new, but it's something that is not known from everyone. So learning, we teach a lot and help to educate all the society in the behavior of relying on the environment and trying to live with the environment, respecting him and respecting the society. Just with that, it's a huge step. So it's not about governments deciding where we should go. If it is 2.5 degrees, 1.5, it's human behavior. We are in this problem because of humans. So we as humans, we need to finish it.
So we need to change.
Absolutely. The only thing is to change. So comfort, behaviors, transportation, everything needs to be changed.
It's a challenge, but I think that people are more woke now and they understand better. So
Not yet, not yet,
we're not there yet.
not yet.
Let's hope. Alex, the concluding
Well,
remarks.
You have 38 seconds.
Yeah, okay, I will be very fast. Now, as a final take and conclusion, again, let's not believe in blockchain. Let's believe in humans and their capacity to fix the problems that they care about. And above all, let's gather and think about how to realign the incentives that have worked so badly until now. I think we have a huge opportunity. The society is being reborn. A new political, societal, and economic system is being born. Let's do better this time.
Okay.
Please.
Great
Thank
idea.
you. Thank you all very much for your attention. Thank you for being here.